Are you sick and tired of gambling your hard-earned money on Madden and 2K packs? Well, look no further than my sponsor, MMOEXP, for the cheapest and most reliable Madden and 2K coins on the market. And of course, do not forget to use code Ferdy for 5% off. A link for their website is at the top of the description. What's going on, guys? Today we are once again updating the running back tier list. And there really isn't that many new names already on the tier list. Today we're going to be talking about basically all the top tier running backs that have come out over the last 3 weeks. So yeah, let's just get started. So to get us started today, we have the out of position Charles Tillman. We're not going to spend too much time on this card, but for a Panthers or a Bears team, honestly a pretty good holdover, kind of placeholder until CMC or, Walter Payton get an upgrade. But this card, and you're going to see this a lot with these out of position Ultimate Legend cards, at running back, is they kind of have good stats. I mean, very consistent stats as far as, look at this. I mean, he gets 3 route running thresholds, great pass catching stats, even a decent ball carrier with great COD. The speed's pretty good, and on a theme team, 97 speed's pretty nice. The acceleration a little bit low for my liking, but also does get some pretty good pass catching abilities as well. With, free goal line back's nice to have. You have free RB apprentice, 1 AP short in. I would probably, if you're not going to run playmaker, which is honestly nice to have on this card, I would probably go like short in or an RB apprentice or short in goal line back for his setup, which is pretty good. Yeah, honestly, a really good pass catching back. So with that being said, we are going to throw Charles Tillman. I'm going to throw him behind Saquon. He's probably somewhere in this range, depending on what kind of running back you're looking for. I mean, the Jonathan Taylor card gets good abilities. I feel like he falls somewhere in about this range. So next man up is 95 overall out of position Harold Carmichael at running back. So obviously 6'8". At running back's really nice. He's going to have great route running stats there. Even for the abilities. I mean, the speed isn't as good as Tillman, but again, I feel like taller players just move faster in this game. So being 6'8" is pretty nice. And of course, for the abilities, he does get Bruiser, which is pretty good. And you could obviously say that Tillman does get better abilities because he gets free abilities, but Tillman's not 6'8". You know what I mean? And this guy can actually play slot receiver. So if you're looking for like a budget, I guess he's much cheaper than Harold Carmichael, but I guess he's kind of like a budget Carmichael because he can legitimately play receiver if you need him to. The only real issue for me with this card is the fact that, it makes sense, but there's really no point in running this card if you can afford the full Carmichael. Like, the full Carmichael is the best receiver right now in the game, so you're kind of doing yourself, yourself dirty by using the running back card. So I do like this card. I honestly do think he can be good, but you're probably not going to see much of him. Because not there, but you're not going to see much of him because people are using his wide receiver card obviously over the running back card. So next up, we have 2 team standout weekly wild cards, and the first one is Damien Pierce, 96 speed, 98 acceleration is beautiful. Acceleration is such an important stat in this game in general, but especially for running backs. Having that quick burst of speed is super nice for obviously getting away from defenders and hitting holes and stuff like that. But Pierce with 90 strength can really do it all. Can spin, not that that matters this year, but can juke, truck. The stiff arm's decent, a good break tackle, not really a pass catcher, but keep in mind he is a power back. And for the abilities, they've been given power back short in. So if you're someone that likes throwing the ball to your running back, but also likes a power back, all these power backs, even like Derrick Henry, gets short in, which is super nice. So free bruiser short in with a good, a decent build. He's only 224, which obviously there's much heavier guys in this game right now. But that free bruiser super nice, as well as getting that short in if you want to throw him the ball to the backfield. So I'm going to be throwing Damien Pierce. I don't think he gets good. He doesn't get better abilities than like Terrell Davis, but for a power back option, he's a pretty good choice right now in this game. Okay, next up we got David Montgomery. I forgot about this card literally 2 minutes ago when I was talking about Charles Tillman because he does exist for the Bears team. My bad, but 96 speed, 97 acceleration. Again, good stats across the board. We're gonna have that power aspect to his game too, but he's an elusive back, unlike Damien Pierce, who's the power back archetype, which doesn't matter that much, because usually, discounted abilities is all that we're using anyway. But he does get joystick. So if you're playing on last gen Madden, use joystick 1 AP whenever it's available to you. But short in for 1 AP, 0 AP is really nice with evasive. This combo right here, really nice. And if you don't have, say, the hot route master quarterback, you can run RB apprentice. You basically have backfield master for 1 AP, which is really nice. Grab and go, again, if you're on next gen, use that if you want to go grab and go short in. Could be pretty nice, but yeah, pretty good ability set up on David Montgomery. I would say he's definitely like a high A tier option. I think these 3 guys are pretty interchangeable. I would say these 3 guys, like Austin Eckler's kind of the pass catcher, Pierce the power guy, and then Montgomery the elusive, but so is Eckler kind of, so that's kind of why I'm putting him behind Eckler. But yeah, let's move on to the next card. Next up, we have the Super Bowl Jerome Bettis. We all know Jerome Bettis' build's a little bit small in game. However, he is 256 pounds. And if he was like the only, 245 plus back in the game, he would be much higher on the tier list. I mean, he's still going to be an S tier guy. The card still plays great, good acceleration, good speed on a theme team. This card's super glitchy. Also does get really good stats. I mean, a 97 juke on a Jerome Bettis card is crazy. With 94 COD, the truck, the stiff arm, the break tackle, the carrying, it's all there. This card's really good. However, I do think if, you know, using a heavier back or more of a power back is your play style, there are better options right now in the game. Abilities are pretty good. I mean, free bruiser, you're able to run tank with backfield master. If you want to go goal line back, it's there for you. Or short in, it's there for you as well for free. So pretty good abilities, good stats, and a good build for Jerome Bettis. And with that being said, we are going to throw him up at S tier. He is a really nice card. Okay, so next up we have the Naji Harris Gridiron Guardian, and there are like 3 of this card. I just chose the one that I think is the best, and that's the one that adds the speed. I think anyway you're able to add speed is very important. So we have the POW variant, and he's got 95 speed. Again, good stats across the board, very well rounded. He's 6'2", 230, and a good pass catcher with good short route running stats. Pretty good for a Naji cards are always good. They have good power, good elusive stuff, and even the abilities are pretty decent. If this card came out last year, I'd be probably using him because he gets Leapfrog for super cheap, but this year Leapfrog isn't obviously as good. On last gen, grab and goes nice, RB Apprentice short in, so pretty decent abilities there for Naji Harris. And with that being said, we are going to throw Naji somewhere in this range. I think he's definitely like a mid to low A tier back because he's 235 with pretty well-rounded stats. Yeah, Naji mid to low A tier. So next up we have the LTD Leonard Fournette that is dropping tomorrow, and they tried to make this guy a receiving back, so he's gonna have most likely power back stats, as you can see right here with a high trucking. He's also probably gonna have some elusive stats too because he has a high COD, good acceleration, great speed for a Leonard Fournette card. He's 235 at 6 foot. He's gonna be a good pass catcher, I can almost guarantee that. Also does have abilities to kind of back that up with free short in, free backfield mismatch. He does get grab and go, bruiser, tank, red zone threat. So decent abilities for playoff Lenny for sure. They're definitely decent, and I think this card's gonna end up being a low S tier guy. I think he's honestly gonna be pretty good. A very interesting name to get an upgrade, but I think this card should actually play very well because of his build, and his stats are gonna be super well rounded. And next up we have a completely free card, and that is the 94 overall Warwick Dunn. And this card is super unique because he does get all theme teams, and I know there's probably some of you guys who aren't running theme teams, but a vast majority of you guys are running at least a 40 out of 50 or a Legends theme team, maybe even a 50 out of 50, which is obviously the move in my opinion. But yeah, he gets all 32 team chems as well as the Black History Month chems, so you're able to get this guy plus 3 speed potentially. So you can have a 99 speed Warwick Dunn. You can right now in the game for completely free, which is really glitchy. And not to mention, he also does get really good abilities. It's not just the speed on this card. He also does get free evasive and free short in, so it makes him a good pass catcher, but you can also shake people if you want, red zone threats there, or playmaker, maybe even human joystick if you're on last gen. So really good abilities, really good stats for Warwick Dunn. This card really does play well, and right now, I guess, you know, Leonard Fournette's coming out, and we have Bo Jackson, who's able to get also 99 speed on a theme team, but for a free card, I mean, Warwick Dunn's amazing. If you have him with 99 speed, he might even be a little bit higher, but I'm kind of going to rank him, if you have maybe a +1 speed, or maybe just with the Black History Month boost, I'm going to rank him like that. So definitely mid A tier, or sorry, mid S tier for Warwick Dunn. A really, really nice card. So next man up is Daniel Falele, and the next 3 cards I'm going to talk about, I really believe can be interchanged. I really feel that way. I know it's in the most popular opinions. I did a poll, I think it was maybe at the end of last week, and I asked you guys who the best running back in the game was. Falele obviously wasn't out yet, but Bo won by a landslide. He won by an absolute landslide. So I know there's going to be a couple comments about where I kind of rank these guys, but Falele, man, I mean, 380 at 6'8". I was using this guy yesterday, and some of the animations that he gets, just like falling forward, just like flopping forward, is pretty insane. The only reason why I have Falele, the only reason I could hear a debate for maybe being a little bit lower, is because of the abilities. In my opinion, the abilities aren't the greatest, but again, like, what else would you put on him? But I feel like he's just missing something for the abilities. But the stats on a man who's 380 with good short route running, 88 mid route running, even a good juke on his card, the trucking, the stiff arm. But honestly, play him on conservative and just run straight. He's 380, 6'8". Let him do the work for you. So Falele, I definitely think is an S tier card. But again, I feel you can definitely interchange him with the next 2 backs we're going to talk about. So next up, we have Bo Jackson. If you've been watching the live streams, you know my opinion on this card. And to me, this card doesn't play that well. I can't really describe it, but for me and from what I've seen from him, he doesn't play that well. So this one I'm kind of taking your guys' word on it, because again, I ran that poll, and usually I do kind of factor in those polls into my rankings. I do. But dude, I don't know. For some reason, Bo didn't play that well for me, and I haven't really been killed by him like in years past. When I see a Bo Jackson card on the other team, I'm terrified because this man's going to probably gash me. But for some reason, I don't know why, he doesn't seem that great this year. I don't know why. I can't. Maybe I got to try him again. I don't know. But yeah, obviously the stats are ridiculous. I mean, 97 speed. It might be the acceleration on this card. I don't know what it is. I don't know. But yeah, ball carrier stats, obviously very well rounded with a good juke, even a good pass catcher with 91 short route running. And for the abilities, he does get obviously 3 player specific ability slots. So you're able to run, I think I ran short in, bruiser, and of course you can run tank, or you could go backfield master, bruiser, evasive. A bunch of good setups depending on your play style. So that's kind of what I like. It's kind of what I like about this Bo Jackson card. He's able to kind of do everything. So I'm going to put Bo actually at number 3 for today. And the next man is going to come in at that number 1A, 1B spot. And finally, last but not least, we got Derrick Henry. And to me, Derrick Henry is definitely better than the Bo Jackson card. I think he definitely is. 96 speed, but again, Derrick Henry cards stay relevant for so much longer because of his weight. And this card in particular is going to stay relevant for a lot longer because of his X factor. That's the freight train for 1 AP, which is obviously really good. He also does get really good abilities. I mean, being able to run bruiser and short in on this card, or maybe just free bruiser and his X factor, super glitchy. But for me, if you have a hot route master quarterback, short in turns Derrick Henry to a super elite pass catcher out of the backfield. And with Texas routes, with his X factor, I mean, this card just causes havoc out there, man. He really does. He's amazing. I love this card. Derrick Henry cards always play great. I mean, the card art, the stats, you know, Derrick Henry with a 94 juke move doesn't even make sense. So with that being said, I think Falele and Derrick Henry are 1A, 1B. I think if you are willing to spend the Madden cash and go get Falele, I think he could be a better option than Derrick Henry. But honestly, with Derrick Henry existing, I don't know if it's worth spending that money, or maybe even picking Falele. Because you have Tariq Woolen. Tariq Woolen's going to be a guy that you can use for really the rest of the year. Play him now at cornerback, play him now over the top at safety, but then kind of, as the year goes on, he's able to still be a really good user at 97 speed. So I do think Tariq Woolen's probably the better choice for longevity in this game. But Falele is a super fun card, obviously. So I'm going to stick with the rankings just like this. Number 1, Derrick Henry. Number 2, Falele. Number 3, Bo Jack. Number 4, the Quad Father. And then number 5, we're going to go with Warwick Dunn. So, of course, I'm sure there's going to be comments, but drop a comment down below. Who's too high? Who's too low? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you boys in the next one.